A master teacher is a developing teacher. Can you please tell me really quickly, let's discuss this. How do you think a super teacher should develop? A super teacher is a developing teacher. How should a super teacher develop? What do you think? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments, please. How do you think a super teacher should develop? Yes. Number one, never, ever stop learning. So if you're a teacher, sometimes you think that since you are the teacher, you know everything and your students should be learning, but not you. In fact, as a teacher, you should always be learning so that you can teach your students effectively. Good. By studying more and getting certificates. So yes, professional development, a master class like what we have here today, a certificate course like what we have also, videos, books, very good. Be flexible to change what you are used to. And this is a really, really good one. As teachers, we always have this comfort zone. With experience, we tend to become comfortable teaching in a certain way. We have our strategy, we have our method, we have something that we're comfortable with, and we just do the same thing year after year. We should be flexible and we should try different methods and we should change and vary our instructional approach. This will help us progress as teachers and become a developing teacher, as we said. Perfect. Improve his ways or her ways every time. I love this one. This is something I always try to tell myself. If I explain this lesson today and then next week I explain the same lesson to another class, I have to explain it the second time better than I did the first time. I can't just explain the same thing using the same method every single time. I have to improve time after time. Very important. A super teacher has to be up to date and learn new ways of teaching. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Being a teacher is like being in a lifelong adventure. It never stops. It never stops. You should never stop learning and never stop developing. Excellent. Thank you so much for your additions, super teachers. Ability to create new strategies in a class. You should be able to create new strategies. And again, as I said, go out of your comfort zone, test, try new strategies, try them with your best class, with the most class you have control over so that you don't disrupt your classrooms. And if it works, try it with other classes. If it doesn't work, then just try something different. A super teacher should follow everything with learning and improving his skills. Yes. Teachers are long life learners. Yes. Excellent. So you all have super good answers right here. Okay. Great. Now we have a question here that is not related to developing, or maybe it is, but it's also related to the clarity that we discussed when a super teacher has to be clear. It says, should my lesson plan be detailed or should it just have like headings, bullet points? It should be as detailed as possible. Your lesson plan should be a book unto itself. It should have everything you intend on doing, what you'll be saying, where you'll be standing, how you will say this, how you'll ask the students, where they should be when they're answering their questions. Should they be seated? Should they be standing up? How much time will you give for each question? You have to map out everything in details. The more details you put into your lesson plan, the better class you will have, the better lesson you will have. It will take time at the beginning. Afterwards, it will be much better. All right. So a super teacher is a developing teacher. Super teachers continue to learn and develop. Your second time explaining a lesson must be better than your first. And your third time must be better than your second. It can't be the same. The mistakes you made last year must be avoided this year. You can't make the same mistake twice. How do I remember the mistakes I made? Using the detailed lesson plan that we talked about. And we do have a whole masterclass in our IEC certificate course about lesson planning. So in your lesson plan, you have the lesson plan for this lesson that you're going to explain this year. You have a place in your lesson plan for your notes of what went well and what did not. What disruptions happened, what problems happened, how can you avoid these problems in the future? And after you finish your class, you have to write this down. So next year, when you go to your classroom to explain the same lesson, you consult last year's lesson plan and you look at the notes that you've written that you've forgotten completely, and you use this to help you have a better lesson this year. Super teachers are lifelong learners who spend time and effort learning to teach better. Super teachers improve just as they expect their students to improve. We all expect our students to improve. We all expect our students to become better as the year goes by. I have to model this and become a better teacher as the year goes by. My students have to see that the very first lesson that we had in the year was not as good as lesson number 4 or lesson number 6 or the last lesson of the year. They have to see that I'm improving as a teacher and that I expect them to improve as well as students. Okay, I have a few tips for you right here. Please, you can write this down if you want. Super teachers must have a mission statement. And again, I know I've said this many times, but we do have a whole part dedicated in our course to how to write a mission statement. A mission statement that has to specify, that specifies how you will improve. Specifies, write this down, please. In writing, you have to write it down. It can't be in your head. You have to write down in your mission statement your plans to improve as a teacher. You have to write it down and you have to stick to it. Remember how we said that our students want us as teachers to be consistent, how we want our bosses to be consistent. Now you need to be consistent with what you write in your mission statement. Now, how can your plans to improve be proper plans? I think they should be small plans. So no huge plans, small, short, little plans. They have to be actionable. Actionable means that they have to be things that you can take action on, things that can be done. So don't write in your mission statement, I plan to win the Nobel Prize in teaching. I don't think there's such a thing. That's not actionable. Winning a prize is not something you can do. It's a consequence. Your mission statement should have your plans, what you are going to do. So you're going to do small things and you're going to do actionable things. Okay? And I'll give you an example really quickly, an example right here. You can write this down if you want. So I will read a book, one book every month. That's a small goal. That's actionable, something I can do. I will take one full teaching course every year. It could be even smaller. I will watch one video about teaching techniques, one video every week. I will read 2 pages every day. I will learn something new using the masterclass, something like a masterclass we're having today, or like a course that we are taking, our IEC, if you would like to take that. But I will only work on that for 30 minutes per day and only during weekdays. So 5 days a week, not in the weekends. Now, I am going to tell you that we have a course called our IEC, International Educator Certification course, and you can finish this course entirely online on your own at your own pace. You like it very much? You should now ask me, can I finish this course in 6 months if I only work 30 minutes per day, 5 days a week? And my answer would be, yes, you can. Then you take the course. Do you understand? So you have to know your limitation. You can't undertake something that will overtake you. You can't make a decision to learn something or do something that you don't have time to do. So you know what's reasonable for you, 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, that's all I can do. Okay, now they're offering this new course. Should I take it or not? Can I finish it in 30 minutes per day, 5 days a week? If yes, then yes. If no, then no. Okay, so put small, actionable goals that you can achieve and stick to them and be consistent and write this down and hang it on the wall, on top of your desk, in the staff room, in the teacher's room, and always remind yourself that today you have to learn, you have to develop, you have to become better. Okay, super teachers? And that's how we become better super teachers. Thank you.